Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Singleton, it is clear that the CCP is aggressively expanding its military presence, but even more so its influence throughout the globe. What's even more concerning is its reach within the United States and on our borders. That's why I introduced the No American Tax Dollars to the CCP Act, which prevents the CCP from profiting off of us, from building their middle class on the backs of ours and building their military on the backs of ours. Unfortunately, higher education seems to be a tougher mountain to climb. Without checks, reasonable checks, checks that apply to the people who are sitting in this room, my colleagues as well, who have to report all of our financial disclosures and cannot accept foreign donations. There are lower standards for those who have the public trust and taxpayer money in our university. Our top universities continue to send hundreds of millions of dollars worth of valuable military and scientific research straight into the CCP's hands. This will only be used to undermine our stature and influence around the world. Now, this should not be conflated or confused with our great need to be that beacon of hope, that light, that shining city on the hill, that destination for innovation and education for those around the world. But at the same time, we cannot be taken advantage of. We have an obligation to protect the American people and our interests at home and abroad. Americans cannot own property in China. So why then is the CCP taking advantage of Americans? Mr. Singleton, your opinion, sir. How does stolen research from our universities negatively affect America's effort internationally?
Sure, absolutely. I would agree with Mr. Yang that targeted and tailored enforcement is essential, but make no mistake, China is the worst offender in terms of intellectual property theft and tech transfer threat in the world. Collaboration between the U.S. and China based on transparency and shared values can be incredibly valuable. But China has not been transparent about its military buildup, and it has harnessed technologies specifically developed by U.S. universities to subjugate and persecute its ethnic minorities. What's more, China's civilian university system plays a major role in China's military-industrial complex, including its nuclear and cyber espionage programs. The CCP has specifically ordered civilian universities and their students to integrate into, quote, the military-civil fusion system and to advance the two-way transfer and transformation of military and civilian technological achievements, end quote. So these types of collaborations simply require enhanced due diligence above and beyond standard practice. And on this front, there's ample opportunity for Congress.
Thank you for that. For my colleagues across the aisle who took great pains to educate all of us and took great offense to all lives matter over the past few years, are failing to give the American people enough credit to recognize that we can nuance the argument between CCP, who are our adversaries, and Asian Americans, who are our brothers. In your testimony, you mentioned the need for our programs not funded by the CCP to equip future generations with key international skills like language learning and global expertise. How do you envision these programs? And how can a district like mine, a #1 manufacturing district in the nation, a blue-collar district whose schooling focuses heavily on CTE and STEM, how can we keep pace with some of these expectations?
Absolutely. China has made absolutely and abundantly clear its focus on obtaining cutting-edge information, both through illicit means, but also through routine exchanges in the academic and research space to advance its great power ambitions. The good news, if there is any here, is that there are tremendous opportunities and tremendous resources available to local stakeholders to freely investigate and conduct routine due diligence on their Chinese partners. The best one is the Australian Strategic Policy Institute has a Chinese university tracker that's entirely free. It's a free tool that helps universities and researchers understand the links between Chinese universities and China's military. Local FBI offices are also heavily involved in monitoring this threat. Think tanks like mine and other research institutes collaborate with universities on a regular basis to help develop repeatable vetting models that allow them to evaluate whether a research partnership is a true threat or whether it's going to enhance American competitiveness and deepen person-to-person ties.
Thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off. I appreciate that. But my last few seconds, I want anyone else on this panel to give us a to-do list, homework on how we can help restore America's competitive edge. And this includes continuing to be that destination for Chinese, for Indian, for anyone who wants to come and contribute to America's competitiveness and not advantage our adversaries. I want places like Warren and Sterling Heights and Rochester Hills and my 10th Congressional District in Michigan to help America elevate its game. Thanks a lot. Mr. Chairman, I yield.